So if you're an independent artist or an independent record label and you've pressed vinyl, congratulations. What an exciting thing to have vinyl or maybe CDs or cassettes. And now you're wondering, can I get those records into a local record store, an independent mom and pop record store? The answer is yes. And I have six tips to help you get those records into record stores and to be a good partner with your local record store. Now, I'm not talking about mass, national, or international distribution. That's a topic for a different day, and it's much harder to get national or international distribution if you're just one artist with one release or even two releases, or if you're a new record label. But today I want to talk about how we can build a relationship with our independent record stores, and I have 6 tips. Here we go. Number 1 is to respect their time. So if you're going to establish a relationship with a local record store, and maybe you want to ask them to carry some of your titles or your first title, don't go there unannounced on, let's say, a Saturday morning or a Sunday afternoon when they're really busy. If you're going to go unannounced, which I don't necessarily recommend, maybe go on a Monday morning or a Tuesday morning when things are kind of quiet and perhaps the owner will be around. It's better, though, to email them if there's an email on their website, or fill in the contact form on their website, or DM them on social media. And just introduce yourself, say who you are and what you're hoping to do, and wondering if you could just stop by to drop off some records. You know what I mean? Just start that process. So respect their time, ask permission, don't bother them at a busy time. Number 2 is to make this whole process easy for them. They deal with so many different distributors. They deal with a bunch of different independent artists and different record labels. They have their landlord, they have their staff to take care of, their inventory, their customers. There's so much for them to take care of. Managing just you and your catalog is not one more thing they want to add to their plate. So whatever we do in this partnership, make sure you make it as easy for them as possible. Provide them with every single thing they're going to need to sell your record. If you want to include a press page with information, fine. If you have a barcode, that's awesome. Hype stickers on your records, that's even better. If it's in cellophane, that's great. Have your pricing determined, which we'll talk about in a second. Know your wholesale costs. Know your ideal manufacturer's MSRP. Download codes if you have that. You can also make it easy for them by offering them consignment, which means they take the records and they don't have to pay you until those records sell. So if they're going to sell them to the customer for $20 and you're selling them to the record store for $10, that's a profit margin of $10 for the record store, and they're going to have to pay you $10. And so they don't actually have to pay that $10 to you until they sell a record. That's just like transferring the responsibility and the risk from them to you, and it's your record, so you should bear the risk. And also, you should keep track of your inventory yourself. So don't call them up once a week and be like, how many of my records did you sell? They might have a great computer system that monitors the sales and will automatically message you. That would be great. But more likely, if it's a local record store, if there's 2 or 3 local record stores, you might have to go in there on a monthly basis. Just check the status of the inventory or have your fans do it and let you know when they're running low. If it's selling well and people are really responding to your record, they'll let you know. But otherwise, you're going to have to just check inventory. And as your releases get older and as you have a bigger catalog, it might be every 3 months you're going into the record store. Now, if this is a record store that sells a lot of your records as a record label, you might go in there once a week or every 2 weeks and check and restock as needed. Number 3 is be realistic. And this is with respect to how much you think you're going to sell and how much you think your following are going to go to the record store to buy records. And we have to be really realistic with this, even though we're dreamers and we hope for the best. Before I dive into this, I just want to say we're talking today about getting our music into traditional record stores. And by the way, just a couple of days ago was Record Store Day. Happy Record Store Day. But what about getting our releases into the record store in the sky? Heaven's record store? No, I'm talking about the cloud. Streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon. What digital distro do you use for that? I want to recommend our friends at Lander, who just so happen to be this week's sponsor. A huge shout out to them for taking care of our community when it comes to their digital distribution needs. And you can get 20% off your subscription with Lander by clicking the link in the description below, or this QR code, or going to otherrecordlabels.com/Lander. And I want to give a huge shout out to them. And they're an incredible company because not only do they offer great, reliable digital distribution services, they also have a great way to help you get cover song licensing They offer sample packs, awesome mastering services, plugins, pre-saves and smart links. And also, you know that weird thing that distributors do when you stop your subscription, your songs come down? They don't do that. That's awesome. Anyway, go to otherrecordlabels.com/Lander to check them out. And thanks to them for sponsoring today's video. So when I say be realistic, I just mean start with 1 or 2 copies. So if you're going to the store, if you're arriving unannounced, or if you're telling them you're going to stop by, I would say 2 copies. 2 copies is pretty fair. Maybe 1, maybe 3, but I think 2 is good. And just say, hey, this is our latest release. We're a new record label, or I'm a new artist, and I'm just wondering if you'd be willing to carry these on consignment. I can check back in a couple weeks just by visiting the store to see how they're selling. Is that cool? Don't overinflate your social media reach. If you're like, I'm going to send people to the store, it's going to be crazy. Here, take 50 copies. Don't overestimate the popularity of the artist. Just realize that you're one of a couple hundred releases that come in every single week. Number 4 is have competitive prices. I want you to do your research. I want you to go to the record store this week, and I want you to look at some of the major label releases and see how high they're priced. Then I want you to look at some of the kind of common indie record label releases that come in from various distributors, indie record labels and indie artists that most people are familiar with. Look at their pricing structure. Then go to the local bin. Some record stores have like a local artist bin or a section. Flip through there and see how those are laid out and how those are priced. What we want to do is we want to look at our manufacturing costs. Then we want to look at what royalty is due to the artist. Basically, we're trying to figure out what kind of margin do we want. So if these records cost us $10 to manufacture, let's say we sell them to the record store for $17. That allows for a $7 margin. We're going to split that 50-50 with the artist. So we get $350, they get $350. Then you also want to think about what is the ideal price that I want this record store to sell this record for. So remember, it costs $10 to make. I'm going to sell it to the record store for about $17. Although now that I'm thinking $350 per artist and label, maybe we do $18. And then I would like the record store to sell them for $24.99. So that's a profit margin for them. If I'm selling them at $18 and they're selling it for $25, that's $7. I think that's okay. That's pretty fair. But we want to think about like, what is the ideal price that we want to sell to the end customer? And remember, this customer is going to be flipping through the local section or through the jazz section. They're going to see your record, and maybe there's a sticker on it that says local artist. If your price is like pretty competitive, like way cheaper than a major label release and even cheaper than just an average indie release, people will be more enticed to try it out, as opposed to it being like a crazy price. Then they're like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. I'm not going to take a chance. So be competitive with your pricing. Number 5, you know how I talked about being helpful and respecting the record store? Well, I also want you to be generous and thankful. I want you to be generous and thankful. That's tip number 5. Give them free things. I mean, that could be something crazy like a local variant. I mean, if you print 200 records and you do 150 in blue, but then 50 in blue marble, and you only sell those 50 in the artist's hometown. So at the artist's hometown record store, or when the artist plays hometown gigs, give them that sort of exclusive thing. That's a great way to be generous to them and to show how thankful you are to the record store for supporting this release. You could give them an advance release. So you could say to your fans on social media that the new album comes out on Friday on streaming platforms and on Bandcamp, but you can get it on Tuesday, as early as Tuesday, by going to your local record store or going to the local record store. You know what I mean? Maybe you give them a test pressing that they could do a giveaway with, or to use on Record Store Day. Maybe you bring by stickers that they could throw in the bags on Record Store Day, or just on a regular Saturday. You could give them their own free copy. This is something I highly recommend. If you're going down to the record store to meet them for the very first time, it'd be great if you brought 2 copies that are in shrink wrap with stickers on them that they could sell, and then 1 copy that they could keep for free to play in the store, or maybe to use for a giveaway or something like that. Maybe if the first customer who comes and spends $50 gets your new release for free. The point is like, just be thankful, because they're a business that's helping your business. Without them, you really couldn't exist. And a great relationship between a record label and a local record store, or between an artist and a local record store, could go a long way. I mean, these people, a lot of cases, have some really great foot traffic and can really drive sales. And so if they're talking about you, if they like your record, that's a really good thing. But they're not going to like you if you're mean, not nice, not kind. Finally, number 6 is promote their store. This is the biggest thing. This is a kind of a tit for tat payola situation here, where they're going to sell your record and promote your record and do you a favor, but you need to promote their store as well. And this is something you're not going to have a problem with because everybody loves local record stores. So on social media, you're going to tell your fans, hey, if you're local, don't buy from Bandcamp, don't buy from Amazon. Instead, go to our local record store that everyone loves and buy our record from there. You can tell your fans and friends privately, or you can promote them and tag the record store on social media. The record store will love this. In fact, take a picture of you holding the record outside of the record store, or in the racks, your record in the racks at the local record store, and then send that out across your social media platform and say, if you want this, it's there. Maybe you throw a test pressing in. You say, first person to come down and buy this record gets the test pressing attached to it for free, or gets a bunch of stickers or whatever. You can even put a note on the album release on Bandcamp that says, if you're local, go to such and such store to buy this record. Do what you can to support and to promote this record store. In fact, going back to point number 1, if I go down there and I'm dropping off records and I'm saying, hey, I'm just wondering if you'd be willing to sell this record for us, while I'm there, I'm probably going to buy a record too. Why? Because they're supporting me. I'm going to support them. I hope you found that helpful. Go to otherrecordlabels.com/record stores. We'll all have some more helpful resources for you if you are interested in getting involved with your local record store. By the way, thanks again to our friends at Lander, the official digital distributor of Other Record Labels. Thank you to them for making today's video possible. Good luck, and I hope to see your releases in my local record store. Thanks for watching.